Welcome to Go Fund This. I'm Rob Southgate. Today we're doing another comic book, which is super exciting. Today I have Tony James with me. Tony, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, my pleasure, definitely. Hopefully some people will see some of the video on this and you'll get to see what a great mustache Tony has. I cannot stop staring at it. It's mesmerizing. That and the stuff you have in the background. Yes. Yeah. Give me all views. Your pictures in the background, your Batman stuff is really cool. I can't wait to talk about this. This comic is so in my wheelhouse. This is just awesome. And I have a feeling it's deep in your wheelhouse from everything I read about you. So, Tony, why don't you let's start by telling people about you. What's your history? What do you do?
I am a writer. I've been writing for at least 15 years, just writing anything that I could, any kind of medium that would have me, I would write something for it, whether it was webtoons or full comic books or even poetry. Just trying to, be a storyteller any way that I could.
Sure. You mentioned webtoons. I did see one thing on here. Now I got to find it. You had a great name for a webtoon on here that you're doing currently. You'll probably cut in there and just tell me, oh, Mustachio.
Mustachio, yeah.
Mustachio. I love it.
It's a Garfield inspired comic strip about a pistachio with a giant mustache. So nice. Mustachio.
Does this pistachio hate Mondays?
I think he likes Mondays, doesn't like Wednesdays.
See, it's your own thing. It's your own brand. I get it.
Yeah.
It's funny because there's also a podcast called Mustachio Podcastio, which as soon as I saw this, I was like, it's not him, because he would have said it. That's pretty awesome. So this project, first of all, it hasn't launched yet. What is the launch date?
August 29th.
August 29th. Okay. And this is for a comic book that is going to go for 45 days. Is that what I read?
Yes, sir. It's going to end the week after New York Comic Con. I attend that every year.
Fantastic. And your goal for this is 10,000, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. We've given the stats out. Let's get into the meat of this. This is a project called Noir. Tell people about this comic. I am just going to sit here and be mesmerized because I love this.
Okay. It's obviously a noir comic. It's about a 1940s detective who teams up with a gray alien to stop a shapeshifter who is killing LAPD officers inside Central Station. There are six books. Yeah, it's a 6-book series, and the first book is 42 pages long.
Wow.
It's a combination of two passions that I have. One is that 1940s Los Angeles era. I love all those classic movies, like Chinatown and The Big Sleep. I love the fast talking dialogue that they have, where it's just kind of this rapid fire ping pong match. And then just the glamorized nostalgia of it all, the flashy cars, the 3-piece suits. And then on the opposite side, I have a big passion for alien conspiracies. And one of the big shows that I watched growing up with my dad was the X-Files. And I really liked how they took all those alien conspiracies and wove them into their own original narrative. And what it created was this almost realistic interpretation of it, as realistic as you can get, but a very grounded view of aliens.
Yeah.
So I thought it would be a great pairing to have a very matter-of-fact 1940s era that has this constant tension, that sort of feeling of cold air in the lungs, and you pair that with a very matter-of-fact view of aliens.
I absolutely love this. I think it's such a great combination that you're putting together here. Like you said, I mean, I'm a big fan of The Big Sleep. Key Largo is one that I just love. Double Indemnity, but of modern ones, LA Confidential is like one of my top probably 5 films, which is crazy. I just love it so much.
I really love the Big Nowhere, which is another book.
Oh, yeah. That's great. In fact, my daughter, speaking of these types of films, my daughter has a book podcast called Read Between the Lines, and she last year. Got COVID brain. It could have been 3 years ago. Who knows? She interviewed a guy who wrote a sequel to The Maltese Falcon.
Oh, okay.
And it was really cool. She loved the book. Afterwards, she's like, "Oh my gosh, you got to read this book. It's so cool." And it's about a minor character that gets like a glancing thing in the Maltese Falcon, and then there's this whole story about this character, and it's just great and all noiry and dark and
That sounds really interesting.
yeah. And X Files. If you could see around our house here, there is a lot of X Files stuff. We are huge fans. I'm a total alien nerd. I go
Yeah.
deep. I go deep. I'll start talking to you about interdimensional Bigfoot too. So
Oh, wow.
maybe in your sequel we could go into that. That would be cool.
Yes, for sure.
Boy, I think about a noir story where they encounter interdimensional Bigfoot. What would that do to these guys?
Yeah.
And it also the aesthetic that I'm getting, and I don't know if it mentions it anywhere in here, but I was a big fan of L.A. Noir, the video game.
Yes.
Uh,
Yeah.
I couldn't
That's
stop playing it.
Yeah, that is one of my favorite video games of all time. One of the big influences that are in this book is just the meticulous approach to casework, where they're examining all the clues
Yeah.
and putting it together. And that's something, and even the process of interviewing suspects and trying to compare answers to what other people say and catching people in lie. And in one of the things we have in the story is that everybody has a secret and everybody has a tell that shows when they're lying. And so when I show them to you in the book, you as the reader go, "Oh, that person's lying just because the way they're sitting, how they're just adding too much to the
Uh-huh.
story, they're putting stuff between them and the person they're talking to." Very, very classic signs of lying. And that's the stuff that from LA Noir that I was very influenced by.
Yeah. No, it's great. It's great. And then the alien stuff, I love the images. Really, I'm going to say it again. The name of the book is Star Noir. Go to Kickstarter. It's a Kickstarter.
Yes.
And just search for Star Noir. You will not be sorry. It is really, really cool stuff. The artwork is great. If you like this kind of like LA Noir type look and aesthetic, and then gray aliens, I mean,
Yeah.
it's going to hit you square like it did me. It reminds me also, you have an image of the guy whose heart is taken out. I'm getting a 1940s vibe of The Hidden too, which is, I
Yeah.
mean, just thinking of that makes me want to create 1940s The Hidden. It's so
Yeah.
cool. So this is really great, man.
Yeah.
Really, really great. Uh, let's see here. People that worked with you on this.
Yes.
So you're the writer.
Yes, sir.
Uh, oh, you know what? I'm going to ask you a question about the writing before we go on.
Okay.
You've got 6 issues here.
Yeah.
Are you thinking of continuing this Alien Noir series?
Well, I think that remains to be seen. I think I have talked about it. Um, thinking about maybe you could do like a prequel, or you could kind of. There are so many characters that get introduced that are mostly background characters, and I
Yeah,
think there's ways to kind of come back and tell a story through these kind of offhand characters.
interdimensional Bigfoot. I'm just laying that out there.
Yes.
Uh, so okay, artist, colorist, letterer, you've got them all on here. Who's
Hmm.
the artist you're working with on this? By the way, I love the artwork. Love
Okay.
it.
His name is Pablo Debonis. He is from Argentina. I found him in a Facebook group that pairs writers and artists. I think it's actually called Connecting Comic Book Writers with Artists.
Okay.
Uh,
Oh,
I
no,
put a
very original name.
Yes, I put out a posting looking for when I want to do this story. I sent him the first script. He was absolutely blown away by it, and he just started doing concept art right away. And his interpretation of it was very, very strong. I mean, when you're writing in the graphic medium, you're writing for the artist, and as a writer, you kind of have to sacrifice the kind of crystallized vision that you might have in your head. But working with him, we have just been on such the same wavelength the entire time. I pitch him this spooky alien encounter, and then he absolutely nails it. One of the things that he likes to do is obscure parts of the aliens. Like, you see an alien, but the face is covered up, or you kind of see them a little bit, and you see mostly the reaction of the characters looking at them, and it creates this kind of unnerving tension that I really wanted to capture, and he does that amazingly. And then The colorist, he is from Brazil. His name is Vinicius Townsend. He has actually done some coloring work for IDW. He did some GI Joe, and what I really liked about what he brought was this brushstroke style that really made everything look very vintage and feel very much of the 1940s.
Yeah, I totally see that. Absolutely. In fact, I was going to point that out in some of the panels you have here. It looks it looks of the time without being, oh, we're going to add, color dots and we're going to do these things to make it look like 1940s comics. It doesn't look like that. It looks like you're looking into that world, which is just great. The color art, the color work on here is gorgeous too. I mean, this is really beautiful.
Thank you. I will tell them that they love all those. They love all the positive feedback. Every time I keep showing them the responses that people keep having, and they're just like, well, I would like to get back to work and make the rest of the book.
Excellent. And then your letterer, who is, letterer is like the bass player of the band. They don't usually get the love, but once again, it looks awesome in here. They've done a great job. That is
Marco Ventura. He is from Italy. He does a lot of work in Italy. Like his comics may not be big here, but in Italy they're very very popular. And he's great. I One of the things I like about working with these people like them is that they have such a strong sense of like the lettering technique and where to place everything. And
right.
sometimes they'll go, oh, what if the lettering bubble goes here? And they go, well, that's not going to work because where your eye is drawn to, you want it to be around here. Like when you see the panel of the guy with his heart removed,
Yeah.
he wanted you to see the imagery first and then have the detectives conceptualize it. So you have it right
I
there on the
agree
screen.
100%. That's exactly how it worked for my eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost like what's like watching a film
Yeah.
where you're looking. If you watch foreign film, which we watch a lot of, we watch the screen. You glance down to read the words, but you're trying to take in all that imagery, and that's what I'm getting from yours. I'm really taking in these really striking pictures and this beautiful colors and everything, and then I'm going, oh wait, what's it say? You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So, but without it being it's not like you got a great one here where the talk bubble, the line of the talk bubble goes behind the detective. So
Yeah.
you see it like somebody over here is talking, you see it going behind them rather than trying to weave it over or put it over here. It's just little things like that are just really, really fantastic. It adds to the quality of what we're looking at here. Uh,
Yeah. His placement is so well thought out. And then sometimes I'll ask and he'll explain what the plan was behind it. And
yeah.
it's always in service of just trying not to obscure the art.
Well, and it also reminds me of an artist like Mobius. If
Mhm.
you look at like the heavy metal stuff, it was the same kind of
Yeah.
thing. I was always impressed by where the lettering went in those foreign books, foreign to us.
Mhm.
I was, man, it's so creative. It's an art form in and of itself, and it really stands out here. So,
Yeah.
one other comment. I know it's a love fest because I do love this so much.
Yeah.
Uh, Another thing, and this is the combination of all of it, including the writing.
Mhm.
You know, one of the things that attracts me so much to this idea, this noir thing,
Mhm.
was if you watch LA Confidential, they're in suits, everything's clean, almost too clean.
Mhm.
And then the murders are, I mean, there's brutal murders.
Yeah.
In LA Noir, when you get to the Black Dahlia part, it's horrific.
Yeah.
Yet at the same time, people are walking, pushing their baby strollers, and they're in their suits, and and that's the
Mhm.
vibe I'm getting here when I'm looking at this car and this guy is dead in front of it. There's blood just trailed out, but it looks real. It's really just a great world that I at once don't want to live in and at once do want to live in because I just want to keep watching this stuff and reading this stuff. So it's really, really striking. Well done. Well done.
One of the interesting things about the dynamic between the two main characters is that for story reasons, which the story goes into, the main character, Alan, he can see his partner Ellis's gray alien form, and everybody else sees somebody who looks more like Tom Holland.
So this character, I'm looking at it here. I'm assuming that's one character that's holding his hat is going to be. The Tom
Yes.
Holland character. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
great. I
Yeah.
was wondering how you got around that because I don't see the alien here,
Yeah.
except in the cover, and I'm like, it's how is he doing this? Oh, it's really great.
Yeah. And
There you go,
there's a good
folks. I
story
don't
reason.
usually read the books before I don't get to see them before we do this show, so I'm getting the same thing you are, people. Okay, let's talk about some of the important stuff here.
Sure.
We know that it's $10,000 you're trying to raise for this. You got 45 days. I'm fully confident you're going to hit that. But people gotta be aware of what's going on here. Let's talk about rewards. What are some of the rewards you want to highlight?
Well, I think two of the rewards that I think people will really like. One is ever expanding set of baseball cards. So we have three to start with, and they are just like a full realization of the stats for each detective. You have their personality traits. You even have the type of the sidearm that they have. What's interesting is about Ellis, the alien, is that he does not have a sidearm listed because that character does not like to use a gun, and that actually
Mm.
gets him into some trouble in the story. Um, so I think those are really interesting. And then another one is the poster, and our colorist, he went in and created this crease-like texture. It makes it look like it's all folded up already.
Yeah, like a vintage
Um,
poster.
yeah, so he made it really look vintage. I mean, a poster that was already inspired by 1940s posters.
Yeah.
So I think those two I think would be very, very strong. People will really get a kick out of those.
Yeah, and I mean, you can even come in. I mean, you can pledge any amount, but you've got a basic one coming in at $10, where they get their name in the thank you section. I
Yeah,
mean, even that, if you're like, I can't afford $100, but $10 support this thing, it's all going to add up. Another
sure.
thing I'm going to say, and I'm a broken record on this show. Uh, Even if you can't support, or if you come in at any level, but if you can't support, share it. Go to your
Sure.
social media, share this on Facebook, share it on Twitter. If you know somebody, like if one of my friends saw this, they would likely go, "Hey, I bet Rob would be into this."
Mhm.
Send it to them, because the way something like this happens, the way this gets made, is by making people aware. You don't know who out there puts, LA Confidential in their top 5 movies, or is completely into The Big Sleep. You don't know. So share it, get it out there. That's what's going to attract people to supporting this amazing project. And you said this book is 45 pages, right?
Yeah, it's 42. The first one is 42. Yeah.
42.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is for the first book in the six.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Excellent.
It's essentially Act One.
Excellent. So I'm assuming we're going to try and get you back on for more books,
Yeah.
because we'll have at that point we'll just talk about like aliens and all that kind
Yeah.
of fun stuff. So I love how you put on here also the breakdown of what the money's going to. It makes a lot of sense. It's very clear. Great job there. That's a pro tip for people trying to do Kickstarters. That really
Mhm.
helps. What about stretch goals? Do you have any that you want to
Um,
share?
well, I mean, one of the stretch goals will, as I was mentioning about the baseball cards, is ever expanding. So one of the stretch goals will be to add more of those cards. I am also kicking around an idea of doing one that's just black and a version of the comic that's black and white to kind of go with that
Ooh.
noir version. So that'd be interesting to send people versions of that's just if you just want that full noir experience, it's a black and white comic.
Yeah, it's like Logan. When you buy Logan on Blu-ray, it comes with Logan and Logan Noir, which is all in
Yeah,
black and white. And frankly, the black and white version kicks the butt of the color one, and I loved the
yeah,
color one.
yeah,
So yeah, I could see that being a really attractive bonus at the end for people once we hit those stretch goals. So
for
I
sure.
have every confidence you're going to hit this, but
Thank
once
you.
again, we haven't even launched yet. So what I tell people, go to Kickstarter, use the link that's in the show notes if you want to. Star Noir Book One. At this point, I believe you can follow the project even though it's not live. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
yeah, you can follow it. Yep.
Great. Follow the project so you get alerted when it goes live. Once it goes live, jump in there. It's always cool to if you're somebody who does want to support this like right away, jump in those first couple of days. The more activity happens the first couple of days, the more people are going to see this because it pushes it out in their algorithm.
Yes.
A lot of people like to wait till the end. So if you're not quite hitting, jump in there and make sure he hits this because this is such a cool project. Uh,
Okay.
okay, last thing.
Okay.
Where can people find you, Tony?
They can find me on Instagram. I have a funny name on there. It is Banana Bat.
Of course.
Banana, yes, Banana Bat. That's where I usually am on
Okay.
Instagram. And
So,
and if they follow me there, I'm posting the Star Noir art all the time. So
oh, fantastic. And I will put that in the show notes too.
yep.
So reach out. If you want to talk to Tony, you can reach out to him on Instagram at Banana Bat. You can also, once again, talk through Kickstarter. I get a lot of people that write through there, which is cool. And that's it. Tony, thank you so much for being on. Good luck
Thank
with
you.
this amazing project.
Thank you.
I can't wait to see where it goes.
August 29th. I'm looking forward to it.
August 29th. Mark your calendars and tell your
Yes.
friends. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your
Tell
enemies, and maybe they'll turn into your friends. All right. Thanks a lot, Tony.
Thank you.
I've put the link to the Kickstarter in the show notes, and we'll also have it on posts at our social media. Once again, sharing this project with your followers and friends is key, so please be an active participant and spread the word. While you're in the mood, please share this episode. That draws attention to this show, which we can always use. Oh, and please rate and review us. It only takes a few seconds and makes a huge impact on how many people see when we post a new episode. If you have a crowdfunding project, reach out to me at southgatemediagroup@gmail.com, on Twitter at @rsouthgate, or on Facebook at Go Fund This Podcast. Tell me a little about the project or what you create, and I'll consider featuring it on the show. I would love to help you make your project a reality. Thanks for listening, everyone. Until next time, go fund this.